Hey guys, it's Nick and Martin here from OK Students. We're doing our weekly video now, trying to answer some of your questions. We've been on Twitter, we're getting loads of emails, so we thought we could go through some of the things that are happening. Everything's changing so fast. We thought hopefully we can help you out and talk about it. So Martin's going to take us through some of the questions, some of the things you're saying, and we're going to talk about these things. Martin?
Yeah, definitely. Hey, how are you guys? I've looked into Twitter, trending hashtags, and LinkedIn, just seeing what's happened in the world, and asked questions from our Instagram community as well, so we can answer the questions people are really interested in. But perhaps let's just open up with a more of a general question. Is there anything particularly super important that you've noticed in the news this week?
Wow. I mean, the news has gone crazy. I mean, the world's gone crazy. Everything is changing. Everything's changing every day. The fact we're talking like this, is a product of just the last few weeks and how the world is changing. I think the first thing is to kind of say, despite all the drama, is somehow we've got to keep calm. It's early days yet, and lots of things are going to happen, and we don't know all the answers yet. So keeping calm is really important because it keeps us healthy, but also it means we can kind of think long term about these things. I mean, yeah, obviously staying safe and the universities reacting to people's safety, to their education, how these things are going at the moment. That's a huge priority. So talking about the here and now and how people are affected rather than the longer term. So those things are really priority at the moment.
Definitely. I find it the same. It's super important to stay calm and kind of not to react straight away, but rather to respond, because there is so much, as you said, news coming out every day with what the decisions might be, and yeah, it can be easily super overwhelming. So I think it's very important to pick and choose wisely what kind of information you consume.
Yeah, this isn't a UK thing. This is a global thing.
It's worldwide, yeah.
So many issues affected, but so many different types of students affected. So yeah, massive issues. But we know people are frustrated. We can see it on Twitter. People are frustrated. They're not getting the answers. So, maybe we can help them or talk about maybe what might happen at least.
Yeah, definitely. Should we jump in to the fun stuff? So what I've done is I have looked up a couple of hashtags. So for example, first one is hashtag A-Levels 2020. I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of discussion around exams and everything. So for example, Rufina has tweeted, "So if I'm not given the grades I need, I just have to sit exams the next summer then. And just do I have to do the whole process again?"
Yeah, okay, A-levels, like massive news. The exams have been cancelled along with the schools. Yeah, so schools are shut now to September. No exams, no online exams for A-levels. So what's going to happen is they're going to work on your predicted grades, the information your teachers provide, to come up with a moderated grade. So it isn't your predicted grade, it's a moderated grade about what you think you would have got or what they think you would have achieved. We're going to find out that in July. And then in September, they're talking about an actual exam, as long as everything's back to normal, that you can take if you want to take an exam. That's all the details we have. But I'm assuming that's like a retake exam. I'm assuming it's for people who are unhappy with the moderated decision, and so that they can take that exam to try and challenge that, to show that they're better than the grades they received. Is that how you see it?
I think so, yeah. And what I think is all of the schools, there was a lot of questions around how the grades will be predicted, and is it biased or is it not, or who is in charge of the final decision. Yeah, I really think that like it's in the favor of like every school, just to give the best possible grade, I think, for the students, because having those tough times, it obviously affects all of the students. So I'm assuming like all of the schools, they will grade even a tiny bit in the favor of the students, obviously.
Well, so yeah, again, you could see on Twitter people celebrating like, yes, I'm going to get my predicted grades, but it can't be this way. I think we need to be cautious. We've known for a long time that many schools inflate the grades, the predicted grades, so that students get good offers from good universities. And so therefore, sometimes schools have a record of predicting high, but the students not achieving that. In fact, across the board, we know that predicted grades are out of line with actual achieved grades. So that's why it isn't just your predicted grades. There is some moderation here. They're probably going to look at the data of which schools are inflating grades. So if your school's done that in the past, it might mean that your grades get moderated down compared to another school's. That might
Definitely.
be part of that. Yeah, so it's too early to celebrate predicted grades. I think some people are going to be disappointed and actually receive lower grades than their predicted ones based on these factors. And that's where this September exam becomes a fallback, that you can actually take something to try and raise your grades. So I think while schools want to help everybody, and everybody's saying, yeah, it's an affected year group, we don't want to affect their careers, their university choices, all of these things.
Yeah.
Not everybody can get the highest grades, and some people have been predicted inflated grades. So yeah, we have to be cautious.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Jess said that results day is gonna be so weird this year, which I definitely agree with, because I mean, yeah, it's first of all, I mean, even myself, I am actually at the moment still doing the final year of the university, and I don't know whether the graduation ceremony will happen. I know my parents have been like very, very excited to travel here and see me in the whole costume and like throwing the hat.
It's a picture for your parents and for grandma.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a interesting time, but I'm pretty sure like we will figure it out. So it will happen. Either it happens like online. We may see first ever like, I don't know, Zoom graduation. You never know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some virtual ceremonies for some universities. Many of them do stream it live anyway. So whether you have some of that done virtually. Yeah, it's been a really sad time, I think, for many teachers and tutors, because obviously they put in a lot of effort with the students, and they've not really had a chance to even say goodbye or thank them. Or, you know, for you, it's been like a 3-year journey with some people, and that's quite difficult to say it's come to an abrupt end, although you are doing some virtual work. So, I mean, the results days are going to be really, really weird, very different this year. For A levels, it's normally in August. It's been brought forward to July. It's definitely going to be something you receive online, and then it's the fallout from that, like who's happy, who's sad.
Yeah,
how are the universities confirming places? You know, all of that is unknown, but it's definitely different to normal.
Yeah, definitely. Something that I think we all can relate to is like Lydia has said that my bed has become my dining room, bedroom, and college all in one now. I think yeah, it's a funny situation for all of us, because it's everything is happening kind of at one place now. Like students have to like study, some still do like remote work. Everything happens from behind the table and in your laptop.
Yeah, I mean, Lydia, I feel your pain. Or like This, by the way, is my bedroom. I just put a plant and a logo and everything, so it feels really weird. I can hear the dog barking downstairs. You know, it's like we're trapped in this box, working, studying, living with our families or not, or being on our own. So yeah, really, really weird for everybody. Uh, some people are predicting this might be the future. You know, this is how we're going to end up. But I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I have found, like, as some other people, that actually it's been pretty productive. Like, I think a lot of, like, companies, for example, they will reevaluate their need for being in the office, like maybe 5 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be more technology. Technology is the big winner here. Teaching, coordinating teams, you know, not having offices. It's been a big learning for us as well as a team. We had these things in place, but now we have to use them. And actually, you know, we're making the most of it. Definitely.
Definitely. And I'm assuming it's the same for, like, all of the universities as well, because as much as it's such a hard time and everyone have to work like triple hard to communicate everything, I think on a positive note, it really pushes all of the institutions to kind of develop their, like, new communication channels and put the systems to the work, like fully remote for the first time maybe ever. And I think there is, like, so much to learn from this experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, check out our LinkedIn channel, definitely. If you've not checked it out on LinkedIn, we'll be talking a bit about this, but online learning, schools in the cloud, these things have been around for a long time and really beg the question why education is so far behind, why we still do kind of exam halls and these things in such a traditional way. But there is still something. I'm not panicking yet because there's something about studying abroad, about the independence, the organization that comes from meeting people, discovering different parts of the world, traveling, that's so valuable as part of this. It's not about modules and learning outcomes only. You know, those things can be delivered online, but being together with people in a different place and having your independence, that's what the university experience is about. And that's what the study experience, study abroad experience is so much focused on. And so there will always be a place where people want to have that. You can't do all of that from your bedroom.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been an amazing experience so far. Um, someone asked, it moves maybe a bit away from the whole virus theme, but, like, someone asked, Mohit asked on Instagram, are marketing and student recruitment interrelated? Is the latter dependent on the former? What do you think about that?
Say it again. So marketing and recruitment?
Yeah, like, kind of marketing and student recruitment interrelated. I was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I've worked in both those teams, so I can kind of explain it. Really, the kind of recruitment side, what's classed as recruitment within a university, is about outreach support. So it's about talking to different students from different backgrounds about their potential university choices. And that's, you know, university is very committed to widening participation, to diversity, you know, and so that's why they have this global perspective. They want people from all over the world, but also from different, you know, socioeconomic backgrounds, to enhance the community at university. That it's something for everybody. That's supposed to be the way it is. And so recruitment teams are based around kind of global regions or specifics where they offer outsource the support. So they offer outreach and community support for different students of different nationalities or from different schools. And that's where the recruitment part comes in. And they work with kind of agencies like us or consultants to outsource that. They trust us and they give us permission to kind of talk to students on their behalf, because the world's a big place, and that's why they need trusted partners to do that. So that's where kind of recruitment comes into it, and that's where our role comes into it. The marketing side is different. Obviously, universities are in a competitive field. They want to attract the best students to their university. And so marketing looks for ways to attract people in different ways. So whilst they obviously complement each other and are very important, they are different functions and often in different teams within the universities. So yeah, I would expect different reactions here. Some universities will start to be conservative and reduce these types of roles, or the spend on these types of roles, and others will invest more because they will see it as a challenging marketplace, and so they want to put more into these things. But yeah, so does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, obviously you have kind of a lot of experience in both. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you have any questions, Nick? Do you have anything you really want to talk about?
Some of the burning issues that I think nobody is talking about. There's been a lot of talk about accommodation and refunds for accommodation. So we've seen lots of universities now starting to say that this third term that they won't charge for university accommodation, especially if the students have left the campus. I think there's still question marks and there's some dissatisfaction about students who've remained, like yourself.
Yeah.
You can't access the things that you are here for in terms of the campus. And also private providers. We need to put pressure onto private providers
Yeah,
to
definitely.
give breaks in rent.
Because what I read as well, like for example, my university, they actually are thinking, and I feel will be providing some refund for the third term accommodation, but this is only for their own halls, and I think there was one or two like partnered accommodation providers. But yeah, like me myself, who is like renting like a private property, like a flat. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not receiving any like financial help.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a big thing in the news here about not being able to be evicted for 3 months. If you can't pay your rent, you can't legally be evicted, which is true, but it only relates to the fact if you've had coronavirus or you're isolating, or you've been made redundant. And so students are kind of in the cracks there. Obviously, many of them are isolating and nobody can challenge that. But they can't automatically assume that they will be given rent-free for 3 months. So you do have to be really careful about that, about the terms of your lease. You need to talk to your landlords about that. So that was definitely something that's come up this week.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, pretty much the same. Like the fact that the pandemic now forced you to move to your like actual home, it doesn't actually necessarily mean that you shouldn't be paying for the contract you signed up for before.
Yeah, there's so many issues like this, with closed shops and offices as well. There's a huge fallout about which ones are guaranteed or guarantored by the government. Another issue as well that's a hot topic on Twitter is, I'm going to say like refunds for teaching, tuition fees. And this is super, super controversial. Obviously, all the universities have been fairly quick, we'll say, in the last 3 weeks to move to online teaching. Some better than others, we've heard. And this is fascinating because there's a few things here. Mainly that online teaching is supposed to be of the same quality as being in the classroom. If you're taking an online course, often the fees are the same as courses where you're in the classroom. So that's one thing where people have got to make a decision about whether that's really true or not. and the satisfaction rates. So some universities that have got really good technology and people who are capable of teaching like this,
Mhm.
they're getting super high satisfaction scores, saying, yeah, this is amazing. We know students who are saying, this is great. I've got everything so precise. I feel like I'm learning still. The outcomes are very clear. And so some
Yeah,
students
definitely.
are very, very satisfied with the online teaching, so much so that I think some universities will start to offer it more of as an option in the future.
150%.
They
Yeah,
say,
like
yeah,
I've actually heard from like our marketing team as well that like, and some people just like they kind of even not not to say prefer that, but like the online support system is so supportive that it actually makes it so easy to do their things online. And yeah, as you said, I think there's going to be major developments in online learning, or maybe just even like finding a bit better balance between two.
yeah. I mean, everything is so much more efficient like this. There's no commute and there's no time wasted, and they can save money. But at the same time, I can't hang out with my friends and have a good time,
That's
and we can't.
impossible. Yeah.
Even as a team, that kind of bonding stuff is really important. So, who knows? Obviously, it's going to be the big winner, online learning. But
Yeah.
is it the same, or is it as good for some students in some situations? So we wait to see, really. At the moment, universities are being very clear that no, there's no opportunity for refunded fees. We're all in this together, and they're trying their hardest to deliver the things that they promised in terms of teaching
Mhm.
and classifications. So this one will rumble on and on. But certainly it's interesting to see there's a lot of people talking about it, but not so many responses officially at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think I see it as a positive, and I'm not 100% whether it is only because of kind of students' slight pressure, but I've seen a couple of universities like making decisions based on students. Um, so they start like petitions, and like they kind of ask for what they want. And lately, I've seen some of the universities, they do respond to that. My own university just yesterday announced basically a system that I can't get any more a lower degree than I had by the end of the March. So
Yeah.
any assessment I do now, I just kind of have to pass, and I will get my grade that I had before. I mean, obviously, I still have a chance to improve, and like I am inspired to get a better grade than I had before.
Good.
But I just think it's like very very supportive for the students as well.
Yeah, this kind of no detriment policy, um, which is a safety net that you can't get lower than what you were achieving before. And now again, this is a really careful interpretation because they're acknowledging the difficulty of the situation. People being in quarantine, people with ill health, people who have travelled, people who are in locations of poor internet access. All of these things are really hard to study in. If you're in a tight space with other members of family and things like that, really, really difficult circumstances. What they're not saying is that their teaching is the problem. They're saying that the circumstances
Oh
are.
yeah,
So,
definitely. It's just
yeah,
like helping students who because of the circumstances are struggling to cope with it.
yeah, absolutely.
And quite often the circumstance can just be I don't know, like mental problems that you're having from being isolated, in some cases alone for weeks and weeks. Like it's not necessarily like supportive to like being alone.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's great, I think.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I would make it clear that universities and schools, they care about the students first and foremost. I know that sometimes there are issues and conflicts
Mhm.
with the experience and the satisfaction, but everybody's trying to work in a really difficult situation to find the best solution for students. They don't want anybody to be, basically inhibited or prevented from doing what they want to do in the future because of this situation. So that's the one thing. You've got to keep the faith that all of these things are working towards the best possible solutions.
Definitely. I mean, I think to finish it up in here for this Friday. So what would be your 2 to 3 like key points of advice for current students?
Yeah, I think for current students, it's kind of keeping calm. It's keep studying. If you know, keep in touch with your university first and foremost, but keep engaging, keep trying to make it work, and keep pushing for the best results you can get. I don't think it's fair to say, you know, this is too difficult, and therefore I'm going to back off and hope that you know, you give me some sort of waiver or something like this. I think you need to keep putting the effort in. A lot of students are saying, should I still be studying? How much effort should I be doing? Yeah, absolutely. You need to be using this as an opportunity to study, but maybe to do more, to look at other courses.
To grow, yeah.
To grow, to really use this time when the world stopped to try and, you know, work out how you can gain an advantage in a competitive graduate jobs market. So that would be my thing. Put as much energy into it as possible and try and make this work. For prospective students, particularly ones that haven't applied, I would say this is a buyer's market now. There are some incredible opportunities and some really flexible admissions processes happening, and rightly so. But so for some people, that, you know, it's a golden opportunity to access some great institutions. Some finance is still in place for EU students, for the British students. There will be some big scholarships later in the summer, I've no doubt, for international students. And so this is a buyer's market. It's a great time to apply and a great time to think about studying in the UK, whether that's deferred, whether that's September or January or whatever. But the process is no obligation. So you have all the time in the world now to make those applications and those decisions, so that you have at least the options depending on what we look like in a few months' time. So I would say it's a buyer's market. Yeah, go for it, because what a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely don't forget to follow us, OK Student, on like social channels. Instagram, OK_student.
Yeah.
We're on Medium, Twitter, LinkedIn, because what we're trying to do is just put out as much of informational content that might be helpful for you guys as quick as we can. And yeah.
For people who don't know us, yeah, we're basically partnered with many British universities to just give good advice. I mean, that's it. We're giving our experience for someone who's worked in the sector, and from students who are in the sector and also in different institutions, to give the real insight. So that's it. We're here to give you good advice, help you make good decisions, and the universities partner with us for this purpose. So for you, it can only be a win. So please, you know, really ask any questions on
Definitely. And like questions wise, like all over social channels, whenever you have a question or a fear, just like on Instagram, DM us. On Facebook, you can message us. We are always answering to everyone. And I mean, obviously helping with the quick questions for free of charge. So
yeah. And just spread the word, basically. That's it. We're a network that can support you. So go for it. Yeah. I look forward to talking to more people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And it's been a really good chat, Nick. I think let's keep doing that every Friday now.
Yeah, let's do it. From live in my bedroom. Okay. Okay, everybody. Stay safe. Send us your questions, and hope to speak to you soon. All right.
Next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.